Hello, everyone, and welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live streams, real-world events, to share and inspire and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day, and with your help, have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand tattoo and art shows that have all been receiving rave reviews. You're currently watching the Skill Building Sunday Drawing Group, which is hosted by me, Jason Leeser, every Sunday at 1 p.m. Artists, feel free to zoom in by clicking on the link in the event calendar. And if it's your first time zooming in, there's a chance you may win a limited edition t-shirt. So please let us know if it's your first time. You might be beaming in from YouTube or Facebook, or maybe you're listening to the podcast. But you can always get the latest event schedule and notifications at the official Reinventing the Tattoo community, found at both app stores, the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, or directly at community.reinventingthetattoo.com. If this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and the chat, and please tag a friend who loves tattoos. As well, if you are a tattoo artist and you are beaming in and you wish to jump in on some of these live events, by all means, please feel free to let us know, and we'll be more than happy to send you the Zoom link so that you can participate as well. We have a number of weekly staple shows we always encourage people to tune into throughout the week, starting on Sundays at 1 p.m. with the Skill Building Sunday Drawing Group, which you are watching right now. And this is followed on Mondays at 11 a.m. with the Tattoo Weekly live broadcast. And that's with Lauren Gregory, Gabe Ripley, and Jake Meeks. Mondays at 9 p.m., we have a subscribers exclusive only drawing group with Guy Aitchison himself, where we go through and each week we tackle a different part of the Reinventing the Tattoo canon. If you are not currently a subscriber to Reinventing the Tattoo, please let me know. I've got a little discount code for you. Might help take a few bucks off. So yeah, let me know. I'll be more than happy to hook you up. Tuesdays at 10 a.m., we have another live drawing group with a very good friend of mine and extremely talented artist, Ricardo Sertivant, where we go through and we start discussing all things philosophy regarding art, life, best practices, ways to really bring yourself up to that professional level that we all really want to be at. Wednesdays at 12 noon, we have the Tattoo Now show with Gabe Ripley, where we start to explore a lot more of the business side of tattooing. Thursdays at 12 noon, we have the Tattoo Collecting Podcast with Fawn Baker and Jordan Ruckus, as well as all of those weekly staple shows that we always encourage you to tune into. We have a number of real-world events coming up that we hope everyone can make it to. Starting on April 11th through 14th, we have the Inspiring Tours in New Hampshire with Sean Barber and Nick Baxter. This is a private little sneak away painting workshop where you can go and meet up with Nick and Sean in person to really help develop some of your painting skills. And I do believe that this past one is full up, but you can always get on the waiting list for the next one, which might be in the fall. I could be wrong, but you can always get on the waiting list by going to inspiring.tours. May 20th through 22nd, Reinventing the Tattoo will be live in Hell City, Columbus, Ohio, for the Hell City Tattoo Convention, one of the premier tattoo conventions in the country. If you do not know about Hell City, it is way up at the top. They have an all-star lineup this year, and it is going to be absolutely incredible. June 3rd through 5th, 2022, myself and Lauren Gregory will be at the Deadly Tattoo Convention in Calgary, Canada. If you tune in at the right time, there's a chance that you may get to watch me cry as I get the rest of my stomach worked on. It's going to be an interesting time. The lineup for the Deadly Tattoo Convention is absolutely incredible. So by all means, please check it out. And if you're tuning in from Canada, definitely see if you can swing by and make it. July 29th through 31st, we also have the Rubber City Tattoo Invitational in Akron, Ohio, with Tony Urbanek, master machine builder and convention promoter. So feel free to tune in while we cover that one as well. I'd like to go through and take a minute to thank a few of our sponsors and the people that make this happen, starting with Raw Pigments, an ink company that's tapping into the source. You can find them at rawpigments.co. I've switched over and now use almost entirely just raw pigments. They are vegan friendly. They are acrylic free. They are heavy metal free. They are absolutely incredible, and they saturate just like old school powder. If you're looking to switch up your color company, maybe you're not happy with some of the colors, maybe you just want to try something new, personal recommendation, take a look at Raw Pigments. I can almost guarantee you'll absolutely love them. Next, we have worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. They are constantly keeping everything live and up to date, as everything's getting rescheduled and moved around and postponed due to different, COVID restrictions. The best way to stay up to date with all of the most relevant information and all of the most relevant dates for the events that you want to attend is by going to worldtattooevents.com. Also, would like to thank DLize Pro, also known as Dermalize Pro in the rest of the world. Protect your art. If you're still using plastic wrap to wrap your tattoos, it's time to step your game up. This stuff was designed by wound care specialists and is specifically designed to heal tattoos. You can't go wrong. For more information, just head over to your search engine and do a search for Dermalize Worldwide. Would also like to thank tattoonow.com, technology for tattooers, the leading edge in SEO and professional development for tattooers of all levels. And they're now accepting new clients. So if you're really looking to attract the type of clientele that you really want to tattoo, one of the easiest ways to make that happen is to go through and, hire someone to help you market yourself correctly. That's what Tattoo Now does. Tattoo Now will help you reach a bigger client base and a more favorable client base for the stuff that you want to tattoo. And of course, this wouldn't be Reinventing the Tattoo without a very special thank you to the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo, Guy Aitchison. Thank you, Guy, for everything that you have done for me. I would not be here without you. You can find Guy at guyaitchison.com, where you can pick up a copy of his Biomech Encyclopedia, his DVDs. He's got some custom limited edition coil machines. I think he's down to maybe a couple of them left. These are a very limited run. They will only be produced once. They are extremely collectible. So if you're like me and you like to collect old coil machines, you might want to pick one of them up. They're absolutely awesome, great collector's pieces, and they run fantastic. He also has a whole bunch of original paintings and prints for sale as well, all at guyaitchison.com. Would also like to go through and take a minute to thank two of our affiliates, the Fireside Tattoo Network with Jake Meeks. If you are already a tattoo artist and you're trying to really step your game up, maybe you're looking for something a little bit inspirational, maybe you're trying to figure out how different people do different things, maybe you're just trying to expand your general knowledge base, take a look at the Fireside Tattoo Network. There is absolute hours worth of gold on that podcast. You can't go wrong. As well, take a look at the Apprenticeship Diaries. If you're just trying to get into the tattoo industry, if you're trying to get your foot in the door, if you want to become a tattoo apprentice, or if you are currently a tattoo apprentice, this channel, the Apprenticeship Diaries, is specifically designed for you. It's going to go through and educate you and teach you about what it takes to become an apprentice. What does it take to, really get through it? What can you expect afterwards? What you should expect during a traditional apprenticeship. And some cautionary tales from people that have not had quite the best apprenticeships. So by all means, please feel free to check out the Apprenticeship Diaries. I think you'll really enjoy it. Also, if you would like to host a Reinventing the Tattoo event or sponsor the community, please email management@reinventingthetattoo.com, and we will definitely get you on the lineup. Thank you to the growing crew of contributing artists, people that want to get involved, all the volunteers that it takes to run this. Without you guys, none of this would be happening. So thank you very much on behalf of myself and everyone else at Reinventing the Tattoo. And let's get to it. So welcome back, everyone that decided to join me again. I believe we are joined by a couple of awesome people. Let's see. We've got Medusa Slays is with us today. Hey, Medusa.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. We've got Ricardo here with us as well. Ricardo, what's up, buddy? I think he's still connecting. Seth Mushrush just joined us again, so we know it's going to be a great conversation. We actually already started a couple of interesting conversations prior to the start of the session. So it should be a pretty good session today. And I also sent out the invite to like 20 other people, so we'll see who shows up.
I appreciate you literally texted me the Zoom link like as I was going into my messages to try to find your name and be like, yo, what's up? Like I picked up my phone to text you and then I got
that's text. Because I've got that like, you know, sixth sense, that ESPN, whatever it is, where I can like read minds and stuff.
The ESPN.
Yeah, that thing. You know, I think it's like a TV channel now too. I don't know what they do on that though. It's like sports with like balls and things. I don't know.
What's a sport?
I wish I had the yeah.
By sport, you mean competitive tattooing?
Yes, I mean,
because I'm all about that. Or maybe like tattoo machine Olympics.
Yeah, where somebody's got to take them apart and put them back together again. How come they don't do that?
Blindfolded. Because I had to do that during my apprenticeship. No lie.
Blindfolded?
Not kidding. I had to disassemble and reassemble a coil machine during my apprenticeship.
Blindfolded.
Blindfolded.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's rough stuff.
We could go into other stories, but we're not going to go there. There was one day where I forgot something and had to wear a cardboard eye patch all day. That was an interesting day. Oh yeah. Oh, there are plenty of stories from when I was an apprentice. Don't you worry about that.
I was listening to a conversation the other day. It was pretty good between some pretty well-known artists. There was like a live stream on Instagram, and they were talking just about how a lot of people that use these rotary machines will never know the art of coil machines or appreciate it. And it made me think about even just early on having to make needles. You know, get to the shop early and you're there for 2 hours before the day even starts making needles, so that you'll have enough.
So you made them the morning of? I always made them a couple of days before.
Well, when people burn through them, like when I first started, I couldn't keep up. I was the only one making needles in the shop, So, and then when it was just, it was just Corey and I working, make whatever, if I make what I needed and then not have the specific needle that I was looking for that day, I'd make another one. Make them out. Like, no, these kids won't know the art of breathing in flux all day.
Oh man, Ricardo and I were having that discussion the other day, and we, just trying to figure out how many years off of our life, we've taken, how many years we've shaved off of our life just from breathing in all the liquid flux.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, dude, one of my one of my machines has a fingerprint on it. Because of the oh my god, sorry, it's still my morning. What's the stuff called? The lubricant stuff when you're making needles.
The liquid flux?
Yeah. I got a fingerprint on one of my machines because my mentor had it all over his hands when he grabbed it. And it's a fun fingerprint because he later accidentally got that finger chopped off in when he was fixing his motorcycle. So I have, I think, the last fingerprint of his on my wiener dog machine.
Interesting. That's fun.
That's actually pretty
Not
awesome.
Finger, but yeah,
Yeah.
good tattoo story.
So morning, guys. I'm on my first cup of coffee.
The motivational cup.
The cup that's helping me like refigure out human language. The next cup will be mathematics, and after that I might be a functional person.
Yeah.
You get
need
that
the
from a
water
cup of
to prevent you
coffee?
from murdering people.
Yeah. My first cup just helps me open my eyes.
Well, I'm just trying to dream big here.
Yeah. Well, you're doing well. You keep it going.
It's small but detailed, so it's better to make a point.
What's Ricardo working on today?
I don't know. Ricardo, I think, is still connecting, still joining.
Okay.
So he should be on in a little bit.
I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right there.
Yeah, take your time, dude. No worries.
Problem. I'm not really looking. I'm just listening right now. So
Yeah. What you want
Yeah,
to get?
Medusa has her video. Oh, there she is.
there she is.
Hi, guys.
Hey, hey.
I was gonna take a shower before this, but then I was all like, nah, they should see me in all my glory.
Hey, you know what? We're all tattooers. None of us are anyone to judge.
What's a shower?
Oh,
Right.
that's like that once a month thing that I do, right?
Yeah.
It's when you
I
go
did
and wash
upgrade.
your
I now do it
hands,
twice a month.
but you do it your whole body.
No, that's when you just wet a rag down and run that over your body because you're
Bird-
late getting to the studio and you don't really have time to take a proper shower.
So you got a bird bath in the bathroom sink.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You put hand sanitizer in your pits.
You guys,
Can't say I've
been cool this
I
week?
can honestly say I've never actually done that.
Oh, I have. It works tremendously well.
I will take your advice on that.
Do you have any cool projects this last week, guys? Girls? All?
Yesterday I was working on a full nautical sleeve.
Oh,
That was a fun one.
Yeah. Was it above water or underwater?
So take like an old maritime nautical theme, right?
Yeah.
So I drew up like a nice sextant, and he wanted some dates incorporated in it. We did a sextant with some rope, an anchor, an actual navigational compass, which has like a flip up sundial on the top of it, block and tackle, some nautical calipers. And he wanted to try to throw in some like some kind of a nod to where he was stationed in the Navy. So I was like, all right, well, where were you stationed? He's like, Virginia Beach. So I threw on like a little bit of an outline of a map of the Chesapeake Bay area where he was actually stationed. And then I asked him what his favorite place in the world was. He said the Bahamas. So we did that as like a little nod in the background to give it like a map effect. Threw a compass rose in there. And then he's real big on like ships because he's part of the Navy. So I threw in the USS Constitution. And that was an absolute nightmare to get lined out. But
Probably looks amazing in contrast with all the other stuff, all that tight detail and everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I used everything from a 3-liner to an 11-liner.
There you go.
So just there were certain areas that I just wanted a very quick line that was kind of a medium weight that I didn't want to be super bold. So I would go through and I just used, a quick pass with like a 7 or a straight 5. Those tight little background areas, I think I used 5 with a light gray wash or super light gray wash. A lot of the interior details were all done with a 5 or a 3. All the tiny little dates that he wanted to put in there, those were all done with a 3. All the rigging, I think, was done with either a 7 or a 5. And then all the perimeter lines were 11s. So
Yeah, man, you get that strong silhouette you can see from across the driveway.
right?
Love that.
Yeah, that kind of longevity is what I try to go for in all of my designs. It's like I want to be able to see what each element is, even on my iPad. If I were to zoom out so that I could barely see it at all,
Yeah.
I want to be able to make out this is an anchor. This is the sextant. This is the block and tackle. This is a ship. This is a compass.
That's a good trick to use too, like with the iPad, you know, instead of having to like back up and look at something, like just double check it on the iPad, right? Like make it real small and see it.
Exactly.
I was told a long time ago, you know, that a tattoo should be interesting at 30 feet, and even more interesting at 10 feet, and then, you know, 5 feet. And then when you're right up on it, you know, like at every level, you're just seeing more and more detail. But at no point is there any question as to what you're looking at, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, when I was in art school, I was taught that as the 3-13-30 principle.
Okay.
Where from 3 feet, 13 feet, and 30 feet.
Yeah.
You know, same basic thing, just different, you know, distances and names.
Yeah. Where did you go to art school?
Temple University, Tyler School of Art.
You went to Tyler, man. I applied there. I did not get in. I had a terrible attendance record in high school that prevented me from getting in there.
So I actually did a workaround there. I transferred into Tyler School of Art from Temple University because I knew once I got into Temple, I could make the transfer, and that would have been a lot easier, and I had a lot better chance of getting accepted.
Sure.
Plus, I got to knock out a lot of my core curriculum in the first like year and a half, 2 years. So once all that was done, it was basically just major courses.
I was so impressed when I went to their old campus in Elkins Park. With the
that
glass blowing facility that they had there was amazing.
You should see their new facility.
Oh, I bet it's incredible.
You know what? If you ever wanted to go on a tour, let me know. I know a few people that still work down there, and I'm pretty sure I could get us a tour.
I would love to check it out, man, and see some artwork and you know, be inspired. That'd be great.
Yeah, they've got so their new building down in Northeast Philly, like right down on main campus. They have a full art gallery with permanent exhibition items. They have a full glass blowing facility. They've got pottery facilities. They've got painting studios. They've got everything, literally private drawing areas, you name it, photo development labs. They have a gorgeous printmaking area where you can still go through with like the old hand crank print makers.
Yeah, litho style, right?
Yeah, like all straight handmade lithographs. That area is fantastic. I used to love making prints. And I still have some of my copper plates that I borrowed but forgot to return.
Sure.
But yeah, other than that, I haven't really I started flushing out that full frontal. Started to get some ideas together for that. I went through some of the thumbnails. I had a consultation last Sunday night. You guys might have seen me drawing this stuff up last Sunday.
Oh yeah.
So I went over each design with her. She already has plenty of snakes and mums on her, so she really wasn't really digging a lot of that stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I have a couple of other ideas as well. Like, you know, as far as like working in the medical field, what if we did a big caduceus, you know, on the top part of her chest, which I think would be dope, and like a human heart overlaid over top of it, maybe have like something else below that, maybe like some type of like an Art Nouveau lady head, or you know, with like some ornamental elements and stuff. And she's like, well, show me some examples of what that looks like. So I did, and that's what she ended up deciding to go for. Minus the caduceus, she wasn't really too interested in that idea.
So you're just going with the lady's head and some like ornamental stuff with it.
Yeah, she went and did some digging online and found a picture from Justin Hartman of like this lady's full torso that she absolutely fell in love with. And she's like, use this as inspiration. Right. And I'm like,
I think that will be
that's a Justin Hartman piece. Like,
back to normal.
I mean, I almost don't even want to look at it for inspiration, because every time I look at it, I'm going to want to kick myself.
Yeah. I'll have to check out his work, man. I'm so naive with a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you.
Oh man, there are some incredibly talented artists out there now, man. You know, I think it's because I've been such a tattoo nerd for so many years that like I'm constantly like, oh, okay, yeah, this person's got good work. Yeah, this person's got good. Oh, I like this work. This is different, you know, or like, this person's okay, you know, but maybe they're not, maybe they could stand to improve in a few things. Like,
Right.
I don't know. That's just the way I think. But I mean, usually my gauge of artists that I used to look at religiously was, okay, who's working at the London Tattoo Show this year?
Yeah.
And that's who I look to for inspiration every single time.
Right.
Until I went there and got tattooed there a couple of times by a couple of people. And then I was like, these are all just regular guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not
super
special.
talented. They're super talented though. The
Oh yeah.
you know, and all of his like invitational shows, man, they always have like it's always the creme de la creme, right? Like the people that are always offering more than just tattooing, you know, they're always pushing the envelope one way or the other. Shout out to Justin Weatherholtz for getting that convention back and running the Pagoda City Tattoo Fest.
Oh, Pagoda City is going on.
It is in August, so definitely everybody should look into that. And
When in August?
I think it's around about the 10th through the 12th weekend. I emailed them, but I haven't heard anything back yet. As far as like if there's any booths available still. But I mean, when it had to stop prior to that, there was a huge waiting list just to get on it. I was kicking myself for not joining the first year of it happened, because you know you'll get kind of get your foot in the door then, you know what I mean? It's easier to get in every other year.
Yeah, that's
a great show.
It's a much smaller show, but it is very high quality.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like an old school show, like we were talking about last time, like the skin industry one, right? Like it's a tattoo convention, like kind of custom tailored for tattoo artists. You know what I mean? Like it's more about that than it is about. I think you know everybody's there to make money and share ideas and stuff, but there's a lot more. I think art talk and inspiration going on those and hangouts and stuff. You know, in those smaller shows than the big ones.
Ooh, man, they got sponsored by Black Claw.
There you go.
Black Claw does not sponsor a whole lot of people.
No, but Justin's got it going on. He's such a good dude. You know, I'm not surprised he's associated with them. I mean, he's okay.
Yeah, he's all right. You know, nothing crazy.
I hope he hears this.
This is just some of the work from some of the people that are going to be at Pagoda City. You can see a whole range of styles from super traditional all the way down to black and gray portraiture.
Yeah.
I mean, everything from, Japanese inspired work to classic traditional Americana. It's all super clean, super great work. Bob Tyrell. Looks like he'll be there. I'm supposed to have dinner with Bob Tyrell the next time he's in Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice. I don't think I've ever met him in person.
Oh, super awesome guy, man. Super laid back.
Yeah.
You know, just a regular like guy, loves music, loves playing his guitar, you know, and does killer tattoos.
You know, there's somebody like that. I used to work with briefly at Wildcard Studios in Delaware. His name's Terry Manning. And the guy he's been around for a long, long time, and he's so under the radar because he doesn't really get out as much anymore. But he used to put on the Atlantic City Tattoo Convention, drawing the wild card back in the day. And
Okay.
Terry's incredible. If anybody has an opportunity to look at Terry Manning's artwork or Wildcard Studios, his style he does a lot of the realistic stuff, you know, but he's the type of guy that will draw portraits on people with a Sharpie and tattoo them with 15 mag, like the whole thing. I've watched him do it with back pieces. He's incredible. His grasp of how light behaves when it hits objects and things like that is just outstanding. And he applies that to every tattoo he does. So like everything just looks super realistic. 3D, it's pretty wild. And like you were saying with Bob, I think he's just a regular old dude from Delaware, man. He's just a old school rock and roller. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember. So when I was recently out at the Red Tree Gallery for a seminar with Bob Tyrell, you know, we got to talking and just hanging out and, you know, shooting the shit. And, you know, I was talking to him about the guy that taught Bob how to tattoo, a guy named Tom Renshaw.
Oh,
and
yeah.
How
great dude.
He's absolutely incredible. I think the thing that really blows my mind is that so few new tattooers know who he is.
100%, man. It's because these guys they're old school, man. They're concerned with doing good work. You know, they're not
right.
You know, that they put themselves out there the same way with social media is what they should. Not that they should need to. Yeah, they're busy as it is. But those are the guys whose shoulders we're all standing on, right?
Exactly.
Like 7 o'clock at night.
And it's something that I think is important for a lot of you know, not necessarily younger as in age, but a lot of like younger as in career artists to really step back and take a look at, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I've done my homework, I've done my due diligence as far as, you know, who were the guys that pioneered certain things, who were the guys that started new school style, and you know, who's the grandmaster of Japanese tattoo art, and you know, where did all of this fine line realism really come from? You know, who was one of the pioneers of color portraiture?
Right.
You know, these are all things that, you know, I've taken the time to independently look up because I've always been fascinated by it. And it's like, you know, I find that a lot of people that have started tattooing, you know, within the past maybe 10 years, 15 years, you know, sometimes they don't really give credit where credit is due.
Or they
I'm
don't
not saying they don't give acknowledgement, but sometimes they just don't know.
Yeah, they don't know to look, right? Like it's up to people, you know, like us that we're still younger in the, I guess, career wise, but we've done our homework or we've been familiar with these people and, you know, kind of putting it out there for them. You know, hey, check these people out, you know, because it's well worth their time and energy to understand where that work started or how long they've been doing it. I mean, Terry's been tattooing for probably close to 30 years now, I guess. The guys like Tom Renshaw and all them dudes, you know.
I think the thing that really blew my mind is I was looking at some of Bob Tyrell's work, like work that he has done on him by Tom.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's got a couple of awesome portraits and stuff like that. And he showed me this one portrait of Jimi Hendrix that he has on his leg.
Is that the one?
And I was looking at
Blue Fest, where he's lighting the guitar on fire.
So it's actually the one where he just got done smashing his guitar.
Okay.
So very similar kind of pose from where he's lighting his guitar on fire, but it's actually the concert where he smashed his guitar.
Okay.
And I was looking at that, and this tattoo, fine line black and gray, portrait style, said it took 18 hours or 16 hours in one shot. Like, I mean, and that to me alone is like, wow, right? A one shot 16-hour tattoo.
And that was back in the day when people weren't really doing 16-hour sittings. You know, you weren't getting anybody to sit longer than 10 hours. You know,
Right.
So that's amazing that he was doing that. I think the piece that turned me on to Renshaw's work, there was two of them. One of them was there was a grizzly bear that he did on somebody who was just outstanding. And another one was a back piece, and it was Bobby Orr holding on to the Stanley Cup. And
Wow.
it was, I think, or I might have the guy wrong. Maybe it wasn't Bobby Orr, but it was just unbelievable. I mean, like the detail, you know, the beads of sweat on his head and the writing and reflections in the Stanley Cup. It was just, I stared at that tattoo for hours and hours. And I was like, man, who the hell is this guy? Like, I got to follow him. There he is.
This is who we're talking about, by the way, Tom Renshaw. He's actually known for going on different trips just to photograph North American wildlife to use as his own photo reference for when he has a tattoo to do.
That's you know, I was that class I had just recently taken with David Casson. He had said, you know, it's one thing to when people find photos online, you can apply this to tattooing, you know, in a matter of speaking, you know, because people get celebrities tattooed on them or something, you know, you're subject to whatever you can find. But when it comes to like wildlife or flowers and things like that, things that you have access to, you can go to botanical gardens and check these places out. You can find sculptures in cemeteries of angels on headstones and use them. When you're taking your own photo reference, then you're really creating a story with it, right? Otherwise, we're using all of these pictures that we find, and we're basically tourists, right? We're finding things that already are out there and posts that are already out there and are common. And, you know, not that you could blow the tattoo up and do a fantastic job at it, but it doesn't give the client the same type of uniqueness and kind of their own story with the tattoo as it would if, you know, he's out there filming bald eagles and then using those. You're not going to find that photo anywhere.
Right.
You know, that's a one-off, you know, and it makes it that much more special. Much respect. That's really cool.
Yeah, his work is just absolutely incredible.
You email me those.
I mean, just for example, this one bald eagle photo, right?
Yeah.
This is fully healed, and it's probably a bit older. So it was posted in 2018.
Wow.
Okay, but I can guarantee you that's been healed for a while. And just the levels of depth that he's created in it is incredible.
Yeah, it's so solid. That one, you remember the one that he did too, where it was a raven, and it was standing on the concrete and it had his 1 foot forward, and he's picking up the little texture in the concrete of the pavement itself. And, it was like this fisheye lens photo of it. It was just incredible. It's so cool, man.
Yeah,
Subtle texture like that he was able to achieve so early on before other guys were doing it. And what I noticed with Terry, what he used to do is he would work a lot with sculpture. He would take you know, blocks of styrofoam and carve a dragon head out of it. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, so that he could understand when he's drawing on somebody. Oh well, this portion overhangs another portion, and it creates this subtle shadow. I need to capture that when I'm doing the tattoo. It's just bananas, you know, that he does it so effortlessly, you know.
Well, I mean, once again, it all comes back to, are you the one taking that photo?
Right.
Because a lot of times there's subtleties and things that you can't see in a photo.
Right. When you're witnessing it in person, it's different. Oh, look at that one. Yeah,
and that's fully healed too.
Yeah.
And you know what? That will be exactly like that in 18 years.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Damn. I have to step up my bald eagle game over here, man.
Yeah, right?
Tell my client not to look. Don't look. Don't look.
Yeah. Ignore what's on the screen. You know, I think the thing that amazed me the most is when Bob was showing me this portrait he had done of Jimi Hendrix
All right.
by Tom in that one session.
Yeah.
It was it was still so clean and crisp. You could still see the individual teeth,
Yeah.
you know, and it was 18 years old and it hadn't changed a bit.
That's,
Are you happy with that?
that's amazing. I have a couple from when I first started. The guy that helped me out with portraits in the beginning was Shane. And just by like going to get tattooed by him and watching him work, and I'd ask questions and stuff like that, and he was more than willing to share. And the stuff he did still, doesn't get a whole lot of light, but it still looks fantastic. One on my thigh, one on the inside of my bicep.
Yeah, Shane has always been someone that I've always looked up to his work. Ever since back when I was an apprentice and he did a guest spot at the studio I was apprenticing at.
Oh,
the
that's
one
right.
where I first met you.
Yeah.
I won't ever forget. It was him and Nico Hurtado, who were both guest spotting at the same time, tattooing back to back.
I missed them
in
by
that
like
studio. And it was like, it was absolutely incredibly mind blowing. You know, and
pull that off at that studio was incredible.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that was all thanks to one very specific person.
Yeah.
A friend of mine named Bob, and Bob he's just a great guy, and he's been tattooed by like 50 or 60 of the world's best artists.
He's
like all realism artists, and I mean, this guy is covered.
Yeah. I did a frog on. You stay in contact with him at all? Do you ever hear from him?
Yeah, he lives maybe a mile away from me.
Nice.
Yeah. I catch up with him every now and then. He's doing all right. He's retired, gets to play with his grandkids all the time. You know, he's loving life.
Awesome. Yeah. When you do talk to him, tell him I said hello.
Will do. Yeah, he's been getting tattooed by this one guy. Let's see if I can remember his name. He's Hungarian. What's his name? TB.
Okay.
TB Tattoo Art. And you want to talk about a guy that's absolutely crushing it. This is TB's work.
Oh, wow.
What is his handle?
TB Tattoo Art.
Okay, got it. I was just listening and I thought you meant the letters TB.
No, TIBI.
Look at that glasses.
I mean, look,
yeah.
Let's just take a second to look at this.
Oh my God.
You can feel the fur on this dog.
Give me to that dog. That's
like
gorgeous
that's incredible.
work. Well,
Yeah.
I just found
Absolutely
the next person
stunning.
I just found the next person who's going to do Bomber's portrait.
Oh, look at that.
And everything.
Boy, look at Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look at the subtle greens in the face.
The blue in the hair, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Implied white.
How do you see that? Like, how do you even come up with that? Like,
Painting.
Oh
paint.
man.
You paint a lot.
Yeah, that's where you get things like that, like the old masters and stuff. I think that book, like where they have the priest that was walking with the robe on, and you're like seeing it from the behind, and they do a close up of it, and you're like, just wearing a white robe, and then they isolate different portions of the robe, and there's like 5 different colors in one spot. it's so subtle, but you know, it's like goes back to what we talked about last week. Those are things that you don't notice unless you're painting or doing other avenues that inform the tattoo, right? Inform the tattoo process.
All right, guys, I got to start painting.
Well, and you know, you learn a lot of those subtle tricks about how to create that implied light, the illusion of depth. A lot of those things come from painting, specifically oil painting and acrylic. I mean,
Oh
some
my God,
people
oh my God.
prefer acrylic, but I mean, just what you can learn when you work in that kind of a medium is incredible.
Yeah.
His work is just mind blowing.
Smooth.
Yeah, let's
On the left
take a
is-
look at this owl. And that can't be that big.
It's on the outside of an arm or bicep. right?
Inside.
That big.
Inside.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Now he does tend to use a lot of white, as you can tell.
He's only using it for like the highest highlights, right?
Yeah, for those really ultra bright areas. But I think it's awesome that he's maximizing the skin tones in that nature, because he's seeing the skin tone as basically a lighter mid-tone.
Yeah.
So if he really wants to push the contrast in it, he's going to break out the white and use a lot of white, because flesh tone by nature is a lighter mid-tone value.
Right.
So when you start with that mid-tone, you can push those dark blacks all the way back. But then a lot of people who only use flesh tone will only bring that light out so far. You know, and a lot of people try to use the trick of like making everything else darker, but that's not really the way that it should be. You should want to push those extreme white areas.
Yeah. Like you said, you know, having the contrast, that dichotomy of, you know, the extremes, one end of the light spectrum to the one end of the value spectrum to the other, and utilizing all of it.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Cardo?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you wonderfully.
I've
Loud and
been
clear.
trying to get my headphones to connect, and they won't connect. I don't know. I can't even see my camera right now. I don't even know what.
We're seeing your blinds. There we go. There's you.
Can you see me now?
We can. Yeah, look at these chili peppers.
Oh. So good.
Notice the slight backsplash of gold.
Yeah.
That really helps bring those cooler greens forward a little bit more.
Definitely.
Wow,
Very awesome.
my imposter syndrome is frothing right now.
All
This
of
is-
ours is. Trust me, it's not just you.
That's incredible. I can't look at this anymore.
That stuff
Here's
is
another really good one. And I don't know if I
Jesus.
can make this any bigger. There we go.
Wow.
But I mean, look at the minute detail in that.
That backlight.
And then with the fireworks at the top.
Yeah, the depth of feel like that out of focus.
Really, really utilizing that backlight for all those foreground shadows. But he also has the perfect light source too, because he's got all this ambient light in the background, a few very concentrated lights coming from the lanterns, and then this one very bright white area up here for the fireworks. So keeping everything still, even those light sources are still on more of a mid-tone level, where the only really true bright whites he has in there are up here with the fireworks.
Those fireworks, man, I'm picking it. It almost looks like chandelier, like hanging down. It's just crazy, or whatever it is. It works, man.
Well, it does look like he has some like some vague water droplets in the background.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is this area up here. These very, very bright white highlights.
Oh, that's tattooed in. That's not a glare on the
Right.
skin. Oh, wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's something that he's really, really mastered.
I am not. So Bob's got
You know what, dude? Can I say something about those tattoos? Like, I think they look great. I think they look killer. But I really question a lot of those soft tones kind of floating around on the skin by themselves.
Right. And that's always been the debate is how is this going to look in 15 years?
Yeah.
You know, I think the execution is incredible.
Oh yeah, it's spot on. It looks great. Like,
you know, but once again, I think the major question is, what's the longevity?
Yeah,
I just made a curveball out of it.
I feel like the bottom portion of it, and then like a lot of the darks in the Eiffel Tower are gonna be spot on. They're gonna look just like that. But I wonder about some of the other colors and stuff like that.
See, what I would worry about is
I think it would
this
just
more
mostly
mid
be the
area. I wouldn't really worry too much about the foreground area. A lot of those subtleties might not hold up too well in like this general area. But what I'm really looking at is this very, very almost monotone mid-ground.
Yeah.
Like that's where I see a really big question of longevity.
Yeah.
Well, then there's the value too in getting healed photos of these things, you know, beyond the
Right.
3-month mark, you know, get them, if you can get them in a year and post them next to each other, 2 years.
Yeah.
See what happens after that thing lives in the sun and, you know.
Yeah.
I think Nico had some interesting things to say about that when doing the old Joker portrait, you know, and the Tin Man portrait, and then having to revisit it, you know, later, and what he learned from bumping up contrast in areas and kind of taking your own artistic license with it and doing what you know you need to do to make it last as a tattoo, but still work at a spot on portrait.
Yeah. But it is actually my muscle, so he said it was hard to move.
Awesome.
What
So what are you working on, Ricardo?
I was gonna work on the painting, but I'm just kind of hanging out right now, man.
Right on.
Kind of floating these days, dude.
Actually, they might. I just never put
Well, it's what we got to do sometimes, man.
lean back.
You know, it's just kind of float and, you know, just sometimes we need to take a little bit of a mental vacation.
Fuck, dude.
Oh. But the surgery, Bob, is in the middle of my back.
Yeah, I'm working on this this next print that I'm going to be hopefully getting together. It's probably going to take me a little while.
Was it attached to your shoulder?
I'm trying to do a little bit more of like a digital painting
They must have moved my
than
arm.
anything else.
Maybe they dislocated my fucking shoulder or bumped it up somehow. They're like, let's feet on the sky and
You know, so I've got my generalized layout together, and that's working all right. You know, trying to figure out color schemes and then working on, you know, just trying to get anatomy correct as far as value goes. You know, I always try to start off with like a mid-tone, like a base layer, and then try to brush in some of my darks and then pull some of my lights. And I think I may have gone a little too dark with this. But yeah, one thing that constantly kept getting brought up when I was in the Explorer conference was work analog, right? So I started out working on this digitally, and I'm probably going to turn around once I get the digital version done and paint it in an analog way. just so that I can get a bit more of that practice working with my hand. Because that does have a direct translation into tattooing. Because we don't tattoo digitally, we tattoo by hand. So you have to have those muscle memory available.
What, you guys are using your hands?
Yeah, I mean, I did try tattooing by holding an old-fashioned tattoo needle bar in my mouth before. That didn't work so well. I do know some people that actually pinch it between their toes.
I've
And
always
apparently
wondered
they've been
if you
having
can-
good work.
I've always been curious about that, so I'm genuinely not sure if you're joking or if you actually know of that.
No, that is all a joke.
Okay. Yeah, no, because I've seen artists and stuff that do amazing work that are like disabled, don't have hands, or were born deformed with their arms or something, so they like make art with their feet. And
Right.
there's some
Well,
like
and I think that's a
incredible
different
work out there.
circumstance. I
Yeah,
think that's
I've just
a
always
bit of a
wondered if it
different
could happen with a
circumstance.
tattoo.
Oh yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way. I met a guy in Dublin, Ireland when I was there working at that show that was actually missing a hand. So he had a prosthetic made with a tattoo machine attached to the prosthetic. And that's what he was using to actually apply the tattoo, since he didn't have his dominant hand to hold the machine. So I always thought that was very interesting.
That
But yeah,
is
where there's a
cool.
will, there's a way.
That is cool. I love that. I love that people that are even disabled are still able to utilize their artistic talents in the tattoo industry. I'm really glad that it's not limited to,
Especially with the battery
or-
packs and stuff now. It's pretty cool that you can do that. Like I remember,
Absolutely.
I remember seeing a guy in a wheelchair a while back at one of the conventions I went to. He had a contact for his mouth where he just like bit down on it and it would start the machine up and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool to see that there's those battery packs and it doesn't have to do anything like that anymore,
that's
Pretty radical.
rad.
Yeah, that's super rad. Oh, can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh man, what a day, what a day, what a day.
Blank canvas.
Yeah, it's a blank
Dun,
canvas.
dun.
I love
no,
blank
I-
canvases because they're a new beginning.
Oh yeah, it's a new beginning. We're dealing with all kinds of new beginnings these days. It's fun stuff, right? You guys ever like? I guess it is kind of like a canvas if you think about it. You know what I mean? Like a blank canvas. Like a new beginning is definitely where do you go from there? What's the
Yeah,
next step?
You can do whatever you want. It's a fresh start. It's like the Fool card in tarot, dude. You're just beginning a journey. It's the best
true.
part
It's
because
the hero's journey too.
yeah, there's no limitations when you have a blank canvas.
I always, anytime I'm presented with like a situation such as that, where it's like, okay, well, what do I do? I always think back to some advice I was given when I was a bit younger. And that bit of advice, which has stuck with me throughout all the ages, is always just start doing it. Doesn't matter. You'll figure out what it is you want to do. Just start doing it. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you start out with a direction. It doesn't matter if you start out with an idea. Just start doing something, and the vision and the direction will appear.
Well, like my problem is you can tell me to start doing it and I'll just be like, start doing what?
Anything.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I've talked about this too a few times. It was like it's important to just do something, even if it's aimless. As long as you're doing something and not just like laying on the couch falling asleep, which I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've been doing that the past few days, just like laying there and going,
I love
Now
laying on
what?
the couch and falling asleep. It's my
Well,
favorite thing.
there's a difference between doing that with like the intention of this is so comfortable, I'm just gonna lay here and go to sleep versus I'm not gonna do shit because I don't want to do shit.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a difference.
Right, exactly.
Um,
It's time to get the ball rolling and just start doing something. I agree with Jason, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like you got to put the first stroke down on the blank canvas. Then there's got to be some kind of start.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. You know, the hardest part to starting anything is always showing up. Right.
One of the other bits of advice that I got in college from one of my professors when I was working on an assignment and I was incredibly bored of it. And when I got bored, I was done. I was just like, nah, don't want to do this anymore. It's no longer entertaining me. And now it's just grueling trying to finish it. So he told me, it's like, if you don't like what you're working on, add an element to it to make it more exciting for you. And see, that seems like it would be common sense. But I feel like to me at the time when I was trying to follow an assignment, I envisioned myself to be restricted by the assignment instead of allowing myself to have the creative flow to add an element that makes it fun for me to do. And that's one thing I keep in mind today. And that's
It's very good
why,
advice.
well, that's why the recent exercise when we were practicing contrast and focus and stuff with focus and everything with a guy last week when we were doing like the deer and everything. I got bored of drawing a deer very quickly, and so I turned it into a Wendigo.
There you go. Well, and that it's something that I've brought up to a couple of different people, and that is when Guy gives us those assignments on Monday nights, you know, and we go through and we're working it for the live drawing. As long as we're approaching the principle and working on the actual principle, that's what matters the most, right? And the principle was, if we're looking at super high contrast, if we are looking to really go through and push the bounds of separating different elements and different objects, then that's what he wants us to focus on the most. You know, regardless of whether or not it's a deer or two roses or two people, or maybe it's two sharks or two fish. Maybe it's, you know, two tattoo machines that are next to each other. You know, it doesn't matter what the objects are, as long as we're working on approaching the challenge and the design principle that we're supposed to be working on. I think that's ultimately what matters the most. Now, I generally tend to stick with whatever the recommended subject matter is, only because I know that that's going to force me to work on things that otherwise I might not be working on, you know, specifically anatomy, because I fucking hate anatomy.
Anatomy's fun, bro.
Maybe to you, to me, it's been an absolute nightmare. It took me like 3 months to draw this face. Ricardo, you could whip it out in like 10 minutes, right?
Nah, man.
Just to get the base structure of this face to look right, it took me about 3 months.
Ricardo, do
But I
not
know
minutes. We are not suited for that on this podcast.
what's up.
What's that?
I said, do not whip it out in 10 minutes. We are not suited for that on this podcast.
Yes, no.
Dude, I'm already
Stop.
having problems with my imposter syndrome. Don't make it hurt more.
I don't have sure hour medical bill isn't really worth more. So I recommend not.
I got to do one of those. Get back into doing the Monday night drawing exercises there. I was with it for a little while. I was working on some commissioned paintings at the time, but it was really nice to be tuned in and just kind of watch, kind of absorb the conversation, what was going on. It's definitely helpful.
Like leaned on his nail gun.
Well, I mean, that's ultimately the base and point of all of this, is to just improve, right?
Yeah.
Just find something, work on it, and improve upon it. And it doesn't really matter what it is. It doesn't matter, what we all struggle with. As long as we're working to improve who we are and what we do, I think that's ultimately the goal.
That's something like that, man. Sometimes though. You guys are having some good combo today. All right. Yep.
Well, always try to strive for good conversation here on the Self-Improvement Sunday drawing group. Sometimes it doesn't exactly work the way that we think, but hey.
Oh, how
Okay.
about Jason's? Yeah, I'm not on mute anymore. What we were talking about before we actually went live about being inspired from other people's tattoos. Specifically, we'll talk about being inspired by somebody else's work who's doing something creative and new, and you get a client that maybe wants you to somehow incorporate that element or something about it is intriguing, and they want that involved in their tattoo somehow, and how you can, the difference between using something that somebody else has done and using it the proper way versus lifting it and doing a poor job, like just straight lifting the idea itself and not executing it well, you know what I mean, like trying to find a new way to say it.
And that's part of like the ongoing debate as far as in the art philosophy field. And that is there such thing as an original concept or an original idea anymore? Is there?
Right.
How many someone comes in and wants a skull, and it's like, okay, skulls have been done 12 trillion times in the history of tattooing, right?
Yeah, sometimes I just use a straight skull.
Sure?
And there's nothing wrong with what the client wants, but the question then becomes, okay, how can I do this in a different way? How can I do this in a different style or with a different look? So the broader concept might have been done several times. What it comes down to for artists in this day and age is coming up with a unique perspective and a unique way to portray that someone might not have thought of in the past, say, 50 years.
I was saying, like, specifically in the past month or two, I've discovered an artist I was unaware of, and I don't know if I can say his name right, but like the work that he was doing was just really, really unique 3D type stuff. And it's so funny because it's like, immediately after seeing it, I've never seen anything like his stuff. And then within a week or two, I had seen two different artists try and copy what it was that he was doing. Not the tattoo itself, but the little kind of trick that he was pulling. And they did it very poorly. And I just felt like bad for the people that had those tattoos, because it was, it's one thing to use something like that and do a good job at it. But when you're using an idea like that and then not executing it well, I think it's just kind of a bummer for the artist that came up with it and the collector who got the original piece.
Yeah, that's one of those things, like I was talking about last week on Tuesday morning, is that it's hard because a lot of times people have all these access to these other tattoos. Like the client will bring in references of other tattoo artists and stuff like that, and it's like, well, I don't know, I get why you like it, but this isn't how I tattoo, this isn't my style, you know what I mean? And it's one thing, like you said, to be inspired by it, but it's another thing to try to replicate it if you don't understand it. The issue falls into where I think where people can look at the legible image that's already been produced and they're like, I can make that happen. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of things that artist knows how to implement in order to make it so you can see it as easily as you do. And it can be some very technical things sometimes, color blending, you know what I mean? And a lot of times some of those tattoos that people are bringing in, there's multiple sessions on them where there's like a lot of layering done to it.
Yeah.
And people are trying to implement that in like the first go. And they're not, it is unfortunate because there's a lot of work sometimes that goes into it, a lot of study goes into those tattoos that you're seeing. So I agree with you.
I
And
have,
that's what
I feel like I'd have no issue, you know, if I was able to come up with something creative or whatever like that. If somebody else was doing it and did a good job at it, then good for them. You know what I mean? They've taken the time to understand it, but to just, you know, have somebody bring something in and you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. And then they just do their version of it, right? Like, it's kind of like, that's how we end up with koi fish that have eyelashes, right? Like people drawing their version of something that they just think is, instead of learning the right way to do it or learning the process behind pulling out off these really neat tricks. I mean, I know that was a very broad generalization of the koi fish, but just, you know, saying that, you know, the importance of learning the process behind some of these drawings and tricks that these creative things that people are coming up with and unique approaches. You know, it's fine to use them, but especially a newer tattooer to just straight lift something and have the arrogance to just be like, well, you know, who cares? They don't own that. I can do it too. And that's what my client asked for. It's, you know, not anybody any service when you're doing that.
No, nobody.
Yeah, I always try to tell people, like, listen, you want to rip off my work, go for it. But you better do it better than I do.
Right.
You know, because if you're going to rip me off and not do it better than I did it, then there's an issue there. Then you shouldn't be trying to execute it in the first place.
And then again, to be clear, like when we say rip off, we're not talking about the exact, like tracing that tattoo on somebody else. I'm talking about the technique, you know, the approach, the concept. Maybe that's probably a better word for it. The concept of the tattoo. There's a lot of people out there, you know what I mean? Like look at like somebody like Russ Abbott's three-dimensional geometry stuff, and then not understand his process for doing it, and just, you know, they're working off of a photo of a tattoo he did and just kind of doing their own thing with it. And it's like, you're not doing your client any service like that, or yourself. You're not learning, you know? You're just trying to copy somebody else's stuff and doing a poor job at it at that.
Yep. Plus, you're not growing yourself. You're not doing anything to grow for yourself. And then you're charging money for it too. It's like, come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's a bad look for everybody, right? Like the whole business.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sorry, I've been kind of distracted trying to update the Google Calendar with the Zoom link.
Oh yeah, the link. It always leads me to YouTube.
Yeah, in the Google Calendar.
On the website.
I was talking about the link in the Google Calendar with all the event links.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a Google Calendar in the community where you can actually go through and list all of the upcoming live stream events.
Oh yeah. No, the link on that calendar. Yeah, the one for your show usually links me to YouTube instead of the Zoom call.
Well, it should be updated now with the Zoom link. So you shouldn't have an issue anymore trying to get into that.
Perfect. Now I don't need to bother you every week. Hey, send me the link.
You should
I will anyway, but.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I'm really not, though.
Okay.
It more or less just comes down to the fact that I hate being on here solo. I like to interact with, as antisocial as I am, I don't mind interacting with people virtually.
I feel very much the same. Like I can do video calls and stuff like this where there's like, you know, multiple people and everything, and I can chime out if I want, but I'll get anxiety with anything else. Phone calls, text messages, like I'll text you, but I have anxiety about it. And phone calls, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm generally not a big fan of talking on the phone, mostly because I'm always on the go, or like it's an awkward situation where it's like, all right, I'm at the grocery store, like, let me call you back, you know? So I usually just prefer to text. That way there's no awkward situations, and then I can get back to you when it's convenient.
I feel the same. I also feel like, well, I feel like anytime anyone wants to talk to me and I am like home alone and available to take a phone call, I'm probably too tired after the whole day or not awake enough to be on the phone. And then everything in between, I'm just on the go. I'm on the go and I can't be on the phone.
That happens.
That happens to the best of us.
I'm working on the little goldfish, or not goldfish, the fish assignment for the hands-on reinventing course right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I should be a lot further along than I am, but I am really hyper focused on this one fish, and I'm just now realizing that I've spent like 3 hours on a fish, and I still have the entire rest of the thing to do.
Oh, we were just
And-
talking about that last week. Don't love the area. You work all the way around. You
Yeah,
get lost
so
in one spot.
one little strategy, by the way, to get better at that
Practice.
is, if you're picking a value, right? Say I'm going through with like this brown that I'm working on this digital painting, right? I'm going to go through and block in this value. I'm not going to change colors. I'm not going to get too hyper focused and detailed in one area. I'm just going to go through and block in with this one value everywhere that it needs to be. Maybe I need a little bit more up here underneath the chin line, right? So go through and block in with one specific value, and then, you know, try to work on the next value and the next value and the next value and the next value. But then that way you're constantly jumping around and blocking things in, and then you can go through and refine things, right? Work broad to specific. Find your large areas of value or your large areas of specific color and work on that, and then refine that once everything has been blocked in.
Building a sculpture.
I got to remember that.
Yeah, build your
'Cause-
layers.
But this fish is looking so good.
Good.
Draw all sides of an object, you know, even if you can only see one side. You recognize that it exists in a three-dimensional space on a two-dimensional surface.
Yeah, I agree with Seth. Build, as you're drawing, build that sculpture.
Jay came in sixth in a big 70,000 guarantee.
Build a sculpture. You know, block in all areas, all sides. Build your foundation first, and then refine that foundation to create what you want. But if you don't have, say, the left side or the right side built, how can you go through and create, you know, a three-dimensional object?
What is the assignment this week, Medusa?
We had to come up with 3 unique jokes making fun of you, Seth.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
gonna be
mine was
part-
done within 3 minutes, so.
Uh,
Separation of objects, I believe, was this week's assignment.
Got one yet?
I believe it was like working on we're still working on contrast, right?
Correct.
Yeah, contrast and
You know,
yeah, separating objects using sharpness and unsharp or like unfocusedness, cools and warms, lights and darks to promote extreme contrast.
Value.
Right. Or am I
Sounds
asked?
about right.
Okay, good. I was so worried I didn't understand the assignment.
Yeah, essentially, we're trying to create separation using different forms of contrast. In focus versus out of focus, pause on neg and neg on pause, different types of light, different types of color value and color temperature, because that's also an area of contrast.
Right.
And it's an area that not a lot of people actually remember. So like looking at some of the, great master works, you can see cooler red tones and warmer green tones, even though those might be considered, warm or cool by nature. You can still push and pull value within that color range just by tinting that color to be warmer or cooler. It's something I always try to really focus on whenever I'm working with color.
I'm trying to work on right now, since I am ignoring the fish and going into block in everything else. Right now, I'm trying to work on my color blocks and separating my neutrals from my warms from my cools and where I want them in which layer. Or am I overthinking this again?
I think you're overthinking it, to be honest with you. Stick with just warms and cools. Don't worry about your neutrals.
Okay.
Recently doing an underwater, kind of a seascape thing, and I do a lot of them, and the working with the coral reef stuff, right? Like there's so many different lively colors mixed in together, sitting right next to each other. How do we get how do you get it to read well? While
I need to join tomorrow night for sure.
staying true to
I missed last Monday. So I'm gonna join tomorrow night for sure. Get back on the groove.
Dude, tomorrow morning we got a critique.
Where do we last week's pictures, right? I think I need to drop off the one that I did from last time.
I believe it's a critique of all of the exercises since we started.
Okay.
So like the heart, the sacred heart one when we were doing pause and neg, and the fish one, and I can't remember the others off the top of my head.
Okay.
But yeah, one or any or all of them. And so yeah, then that's 10 a.m. well, maybe 1 p.m. for you guys, 10 a.m. for me.
When is that? Monday morning?
Yep.
Let me take a look at my schedule. Shoot, I don't think I'll be able to make it.
Good luck. Everything's freezing right now. I depend on for what?
I'm not sure how long it's gonna take. I'll be able to be there for the beginning of it, but like I gotta scoot on to work at some point, so I'll probably only catch like the first half or so.
How's Sam doing? All right, I guess. In the house? I don't know
Hmm.
I should have hit him up for a beer. Or not.
Can you guys see just the back of my head, or you can't even see what I'm drawing, can you? No.
We can. It's very light, but that's okay.
I see the back
show
of
you.
your head and a woman looking at you.
Hey, what's up, lady?
She's
Yeah, I'm
got
gonna
no
draw.
eyes.
Well, she's gonna have something coming off of her head. It's not gonna be any eyes. No eyes. Because we get
It's gonna
confused
be a
sometimes.
cardboard eye patch.
That would be awesome.
Hey, don't make fun of me. It was funny. It was connected by a rubber band and 2 paper clips. And it was colored in black with Sharpie, and I had to wear it all day.
What happened?
Charming.
I messed up during my apprenticeship and forgot something at home.
Oh man, that sucks. That's a lame thing.
And I had to, I had to, but I always forgot. I had to walk around with my left hand like this as a hook.
Or
That's
Mickey.
cute.
And I had to greet all the new clients with "Yar."
It's funny.
Not my proudest moment, but you know, you take the good with the bad during an apprenticeship.
Jason, what's a pirate's favorite letter?
I'm gonna go see my
What's
What
what?
was that, Seth?
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
Oh, but it was the C, matey.
P, because it's an R without a leg.
Yeah,
Mom's
lots of good ones. Lots of good ones today.
I knew a girl in her apprenticeship. She came to work just a couple minutes late one day, and they made her wear a stencil on her forehead that had giant script that said "late" all day.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, that's I like that one. So everybody she talked to like was just staring at her forehead with this scripted stencil that said "late." They all knew what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's you know, there's always creative ways to go about things like that. When I was apprenticing, I was working with a whole bunch of pranksters. And I won't ever forget the one guy left to go on vacation for some reason or another, and he came back and all of his stuff was shrink wrapped. And of course, it got blamed on me.
We were
Because
having oh sorry.
I was going to say, because I was the apprentice. So they knew that if anyone was going to do it, they weren't going to actually physically do it. They were going to tell me to do it because they knew I would get the blame for it and be like, I didn't do it. I didn't touch that stuff.
We had some prank wars going on in our shop a few months ago that had to they had to be stopped because it was getting out of hand. And what started out as friendly prank wars ended up being like we're kind of ruining a friendship and becoming actual nemesis. Like the receptionist, we were talking about this yesterday, and the receptionist was just like, I didn't know what was happening between you guys. It was like one day you're best friends, and the next day I just kept hearing, I'm gonna fucking kill her.
Jesus.
Yeah, there was a couple of glitter incidences that got a little too close to the stations, and a little my deposit envelopes were full of glitter,
Oh,
and so when I opened them up to get the deposit money out, there was glitter. A lot. And the thing is, I only open those envelopes when the time comes for when that's like, you know, it's the deposit. So when the tattoo's complete, I take it out of the envelope and stuff. So she had filled the envelopes weeks before I was even opening them. So it just kept happening.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then one thing led to another, and yeah, so the prank wars had to stop so that we could take time to repair our friendship.
yeah, that's awesome. That's crazy. I was gonna say that's awesome, but it's awesome that you guys repaired your friendship. So that's what I was
I
meaning
got
to
her
say.
back though. I covered her
Yeah.
entire station and her massage table and her desk and her mail tray and her locker and all of the shelves in it and around it with full rinse cups. I went
That
into
must have
work
taken forever to
I went
empty.
into work like 3 hours early just to do that when the shop was closed. I was using
What
the
was the
black light
reaction
on my
whenever they came in? What was the reaction when she came in?
I have it on video somewhere,
Oh man.
but
You have to ask her if it's okay.
the receptionist just filmed her just like putting the rinse cups in the trash and just being like, I'm gonna fucking kill her. I'm gonna fucking kill her. This is awful, blah blah blah. But like, it's not glitter. So
Yeah. And glitter gets everywhere.
yeah. The glitter went back and forth. I took the glitter that she put in my envelopes and got her back with the same glitter. And when she got mad at me about it, I was like, you bought it. This was your idea. I think that's when the prank wars started to have to come to a halt. The glitter became a back and forth thing. There's still glitter in the shop.
Oh man, how long ago was that?
And there will be for the next 10 years.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, probably.
that was not this year.
Jeez, oh Pete's.
Yeah, whenever I open my drawer to get like my other deposit envelopes and everything, there's always like a little piece of glitter that gets stuck on my keys. It's like in the grooves of the file cabinet because a bunch of it fell out. It's never leaving.
Nope. And it won't. It definitely will not ever leave.
Yes. New shop rule. There's no glitter allowed in the shop anymore. Oops.
That's a pretty decent rule. I like that rule.
Oopsie daisy.
Yeah, I used to work at a studio with a guy that never knew the appropriate level with which to take jokes and pranks. So he would always go, he'd be like, oh, we're doing this? All right, cool. It's on. And just take it to like the nth level.
Did you take it to 11?
Yeah. And it was like, okay, you didn't have to go that far. Like I won't ever forget his way of pranking me back after something that was like, you know, I think I shrink wrapped all of his machines individually in his drawer the one day, right? When he came back from
shrink
like
wrapped or saran wrapped?
saran wrapped.
Okay.
Okay, so I saran wrapped all of his machines in his drawer. They put them back, didn't touch anything, didn't change anything. Like they were all there. They were all just in the same organization and everything. You know, they were just all covered with plastic. Okay.
You show up the
I
next
made-
day, all your machines are sold.
I came in the next day and all my machines were missing.
Cool. Oof.
And he's like, I don't know what happened to him.
Oh, you're for real? Oh man, I was only messing around. Jesus Christ.
No, that's the kind of things he used to do. Even after I felt bad for him after he got done unwrapping one or two machines. I went over and helped him unpeel all the plastic from all of the machines. That way it wouldn't take quite so much time. That way he could still tattoo his appointments in time, you know. So I did the right thing and went through and helped him, you know, basically undo everything I had done. And this dude would not budge. He's like, I don't know. Where have you looked? Wouldn't budge, wouldn't tell me anything. He's, you know, finally I found them all. And he's like, yeah, and that's what you get. It's like, you didn't have to go that far, dude.
No, that's not cool, man. Come on now.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking like, you know, something happened. Someone stole them. You know, I know I locked the door last night. Did I leave it unlocked? If so, why were my machines the only one that are gone? Like I was going through every, like in panic mode.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tattoo I had to cancel my appointment that day because I couldn't find my machines. So.
Yeah, that's a bit much. I mean, so the girl that I did the prank war with, her and I have worked together at 3 other jobs before. So we have a history, jobs that we had together before either of us started tattooing. We even had the same mentor and everything. So we have like a long history of being coworkers. So that's why I felt comfortable pranking her, but that's also why it felt personal when we started getting under each other's skins. Like, you know me better than that, man. Why would you do this to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I do want to, bring Brack, bring back Brack presents the Brack Show starring Brack. I want to. I've been wanting to do another little friendly prank, and it's been a few months, so like maybe the time is coming up soon. I want to take a bunch of pictures of Bomber, just like print out 100 little pictures of Bomber, cut them all out, and tape them to all of her stuff. I think that would be cute. She loves Bomber.
That would be cute as long as it like do maybe 10 of them. Don't do like 100, right? And on the back of them, just put like one of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10. That way they know how many they're looking for, right? And put them in obscure places that aren't going to interfere with the workflow, right? Maybe throw one in like her at the bottom of one of her cartridge boxes, right? Or like maybe tape one to the bottom of like her soap bottle or whatever, right?
Ooh,
places
I
where it's going to be it'll be there and it'll be subtle, but it's not going to interfere with any business.
Yeah, I think it's awesome when it's just like, oh my God, what? And then like, how long has this been here?
I like that. I like the subtle ones. Yeah, I'm gonna start looking for places like, yeah. Oh, especially because we haven't done any pranks on each other in so long. I could probably be like, yeah, that's been there for months. How did you not notice it?
Well, I would also caution you and say, take a look at what's going on in said person's life. If they're not going through a good time, I think the last thing you need to do is prank them.
That's true.
So you have to take a lot of it in context. The last thing I want to do is kick someone when they're already down about something. So I'm going to be very, very cautious. Yeah, right. I'm going to be very cautious with when I prank them.
Oh, yeah.
I need to make sure that they are living a good life and all is going well in their world. And then I'll consider pranking them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely solid advice. Oh, man, I spilled coffee on my iPad.
Sacrilege.
Uh-oh.
Thou shalt not spill thine magic bean water.
My magic bean juice. I'm supposed to spill it in my mouth.
Yes.
So switch gears real quick. You guys remember, I'm not like really a big fan of tattoo shows or anything like that, but years ago there was a show that was on that was pretty good where they would just have one tattooer versus another one doing their own style. Like they didn't have
Tattoo Wars.
Yes, that was a great concept, and it just kind of like fell apart, I think, because there wasn't enough drama involved with it. It was just two talented people doing what they do, and it was interesting for like tattooers to watch, but the general public just didn't latch onto it. I don't think there was enough craziness happening with it. It's so fun. And I kind of heard through the grapevine that there's going to be another season of this tattoo master coming out, or ink master, and but they're going to involve international tattooers. It'd be awesome if they could eliminate the drama from that, and just, I know it doesn't make for good TV necessarily, but it's interesting, like, to have access to these type of channels through Reinventing and stuff like that. You can see talented people doing the things that they do. Like, I love watching you guys work, and everybody else that's on here, all the seminars and stuff that they do. But long ago when they had that show on, what a cool thing to do. I mean, they would do it at a convention, you know what I mean? So you're getting guys that normally wouldn't be, you know, guys or girls that wouldn't normally be around each other.
Their video got stolen, and
You just get to do their thing, and then at the end, their tattoos get judged just like they would, you know, in a contest on, you know, at a convention. I always thought that was cool.
Or are they making a big deal out of it?
Yeah, it's so I'm all about that, but you're gonna run into an issue where all of these TV channels that are putting out all of these reality shows, they don't really care. They don't care about the tattoos.
No, not at
All
all.
they care about are ratings and making money.
And that's why they're looking for drama. They're looking for caustic personalities, not talent.
Yeah.
They'll
Like
sprinkle some talent in there, but it's not
Well,
their
they
main
will
thing.
every now and then because they have to. Because if you just throw people on that do trash tattoos but have big egos, everyone's going to stop watching because they know that everyone's just going to do terrible tattoos. You know? So they have to incorporate someone with some level of talent, right? What I'm in agreement with you. I would love to see something where it's just tattoo artists doing really good work. I think that would be amazing. Do I ever think that that will happen? Probably not.
Probably not.
You know, and it's like, I get it. You're going after ratings. I understand that. But give people what they want and don't just try to, like, I don't know. I don't really know the word I'm looking for, but don't demean this craft in this art form in
They
that kind
water
of a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good luck. You're talking about media.
Yeah, I do like the premise of the tattoo nightmares, where I always found it funny, like the scenes where they reenact the people coming into the shop. I always thought that was,
Yeah.
because that's, again, it's not being mean to anybody. It's not, you know what I mean? But it's less about the artwork, right? And then it's just, that's like a joke amongst tattooers, then, you know, or people that frequent shops a lot, you know, see that type of thing happen.
How do you spell perceive? Percie or EI? Right? Perceive.
Yeah.
I was never very good at spelling. I have no
Perceive,
idea.
PERCIEVE.
IVE. Yeah, that's what I thought.
So when I need to spell something and
Can I get a country
can't-
of origin, please?
when I need to spell
Can you
something
use it
and
in
I
a
can't figure it.
sentence? Can I have the Latin root, please?
Just to jump in, it's like double dutch. You got to time it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Medusa,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, when I need to spell something, I have figured out, I don't know if this is laziness or just genius or a combination of both, but I turn on voice to text and just say it into my phone and then look at what my phone texts out.
Not
That's
bad.
pretty genius.
Yeah.
I figured out how to spell connoisseur last night by just doing voice to text.
Nice.
Those would be
Yeah, I don't think you
dinosaurs. Those would be dinosaurs that run grifts on people, right? Dinosaur.
Yeah.
No. Sorry,
I,
I'm hitting you.
I'm sorry. I didn't catch that one.
It's a
I heard something about dinosaurs.
connoisseur, a dinosaur that runs a grift on people.
That's pretty good, dude.
That's it, dude. That's a good one.
That's a good
I'm
one.
better on the quick on my feet with it, but I'll hit mute and spare everybody this garbage.
Like, don't
Dude,
sweat
I
it. I'll
love
be here
those
all
dad
week.
jokes, man. I love those dad jokes.
Wrapping this overnight.
I don't know. It's 2:44. I'm not quite sure how much longer I'm going to be on here, guys. To be honest
Oh,
with
man.
you. Yeah, I do have quite a few things I need to do. In 2 weekends, you can find me at the Skindustry Tattoo Expo in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Didn't even know I was working at that one this year, but My friend Mike invited me to it, and it turns out I was already on the lineup.
No,
Don't know how that happened, but that's where I will be. So I have to like get a hotel reserved and
I think I'm
do
down there.
laundry because I don't want to show up with dirty clothes again. Not that I have an issue with that, but you know, apparently it's just not a good thing.
Yep, anytime.
I think I'll be down here that weekend, so I'm going to try and shoot over to the convention. I'll definitely see it. It's a great show.
It really is. It's an awesome, I mean, there's lots and lots of talent there. It's always a great time going to hang out with people. Then again, conventions have always been my element. Like that's my happy place. You know, and I say that in kind of a joking way, but not really, because like I really do love tattoo conventions and I try to get to as many as I can every year. Even my vacations are usually centered around tattoo conventions. It's actually kind of sad, to be honest with you.
I want to get on that, but travel costs a lot.
Well, and especially with the rising price of gas, yeah, not easy to do.
Oh, do you know
Yeah,
anybody
so
going to
it's,
Evergreen Invitational?
How are you?
Me personally, I do not. However, I would like to work at that show one day. I think that would be a blast.
I got some friends working that one, and one of them, I'm supposed to be going there to submit a tattoo that he did on me. But yeah, I was just curious if you knew of anybody going there notable that you, or wait, isn't there supposed to be somebody from our reinventing community doing a seminar?
How are you? So, I'm good.
I'm aware of.
Well, I'm going to pull it up real quick.
I feel like I heard something about that the first time it was supposed to happen before it got canceled last year.
I'm just throwing this out there. Both of what you guys, I can't see Medusa's work, but Jason and Ricardo, they both look excellent so far.
I'll show you what I'm working on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
look
no,
at that.
never mind. There's a glare.
No, we got it.
Let's
There you
see. I can't. You want a spotlighter?
That's
I can't
awesome.
see anything, Jason.
Yep, hold on. I got you.
Trying not to get the glare in.
Hold on. Spotlight. There we go.
Awesome.
There you go.
That looks great. Yeah. That's awesome. It's a good job
Yeah,
drawing
it's
the
killer.
detail on the other side too, man. It rounds the top of the head off so well.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that took too long. Now I'm trying to be all like, oh yeah, go back to the color blocking.
Yep.
Good
Block
job,
it in.
everybody. Crushing it.
Block it in and refine. Block it in and refine.
That's kind of like what you do with a painting, essentially, right?
Mhm.
It's exactly what
Yeah.
you do.
Well, not what I do. I even have the problems there. I'm just like, I'm gonna get down on the detail right at the beginning, and then burn myself out halfway through, and then never finish it.
Block it in, refine, block it in, refine, stare at it for 3 hours.
I gotta practice this. Oh, Bomber wants to
So-
say hi.
Medusa, I did pull up the Evergreen website and I can give you
What
a
up, Bomber?
What's up,
a
Bomber?
list of people to go and watch. Ty McEwen's going to be there, so you can always stop in
Oh,
and talk
nice.
to him.
Awesome.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Bomber?
Hi.
Hello. I'm a gremlin. So wait, who's that? Tom McEwen?
Ty
Ty?
McEwen.
Okay.
He'll be there. Adam Hudson, Mark Wade does incredible work. Let's see. I'm sure I'm like skipping over a ton of amazing artists, but let's see. These are just some names that stand out to me.
Can you guys see this?
Oh, it looks great.
Yep. Hold on. I'll
That's killer,
spotlight you.
dude.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
dude, there you go.
Very cool. I love
Smash.
it.
Is that mission or is that just to do?
No, it's just a do. I've been
Awesome.
thinking about a bunch of different ideas for drawings and paintings and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Great job.
Thanks, dude.
Base is spot on, dude.
But
Nose looks phenomenal.
rock and roll. Yeah, it's gonna be like a mother and child kind of coming out of the thought, you know.
Oh yeah, look at that up top there. Oh, you know what's cool, man, is it composites the mom looking the other way too, right? Like the one
Yeah.
face. Yeah, that's a good layout.
Oh, I love that. That is so sweet.
This is perceive on it.
Nice.
Very nice.
So we'll see what we can do. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it kind of monochromatic. I think.
We'll check it
like
on next week.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna post it today. I have nothing going on today, so I think I'm just gonna hang out, listen to some music, and I'll get some lunch here pretty soon and paint.
Oh my
man.
God.
Just paint.
Are you doing that in acrylic or oil?
Oils. I think I'm gonna do oils. I thought about doing acrylic just so I can get it done faster, but I think I'd really like to get an oil.
Yeah, I can't
I'm
wait.
thinking
to see
like
that.
a light grayish blue or something like that, you know.
Nice. Be
Thank
cool.
you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
Medusa, Melissa Sink will be there. She
Oh,
is part of the Reinventing community.
yeah, I know of her. I feel like around the time that because the first time it was supposed to happen was supposed to be like, I believe the same weekend as BYOB. No. Maybe
I
the
think
weekend.
I think you're right.
Yeah, because I remember because that was also when Judas Priest was supposed to play for the first time, or before they got their tour got canceled because Richie Faulkner had like a heart attack. Anyways, because I remember because I was trying to figure out how I was going to go from the Evergreen convention to the Judas Priest show to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And then two things fell through and I was like, okay, cool. Now I get to sleep. But yeah, no, I remember somebody saying that somebody from Reinventing was doing a seminar back then, but things might have changed since it's been canceled
Yeah.
like and rescheduled like twice.
Yeah, I don't see any seminars from Reinventing people currently lined up. Well, not on their seminar list, at least.
Okay. I could also have been mistaken, but also a lot of months have gone by. So who knows what's changed.
Anybody have anything interesting coming up this week at work?
Let's see.
On Instagram.
I don't think.
That's a good question. I don't even know.
Yes.
Um,
As a matter of fact, I just realized that this is a whole new week. It's no longer last week, which means in a couple, just like crap, it's Sunday. Wednesday and Thursday, my shop, all of us are carpooling together and going to the forest to stay in a cabin for a few days and hang out and go camping.
that sounds awesome, dude.
That sounds like a great time.
Great team
Dude.
building.
Yeah, dude, it's so fun. So last year, I was all like, dude, restrictions are lifting, COVID restrictions are getting a bit easier. And I want to figure out how I can take a vacation from work without my boss getting too mad about me taking time off of work. So I convinced everybody that we should go on a shop camping trip, and everybody was really into it. And it was amazing. And we went to the beach and we spent like 4 days out there, and it was the best thing ever. And ever since then, we've just started being like, let's plan a cabin trip. We're planning another beach trip. And I think it really helps like unite us, build our relationship a lot more as a team. it gives us a chance to like really get to know each other as crew members and not just coworkers, because you're in an intimate environment all day long with these people creating art. And you all know how artists are. We're all emotional, and the typical artist type characteristics, our brains are wired funny. So like it's always been really, really nice to spend quality time not at work with the coworkers. And
Yeah.
I think that's what gives our shop a very familial vibe to it. Like everybody's in it together. And I think it comes from a lot of these outings together.
No doubt. Yeah, you're
And that's an
building things.
important, I think you touched on a very important element whenever you're working at a studio with someone or with another group of people. You want to have that kind of continuity. You want to make sure that, everyone's on the same team. And, a lot of that comes through when you go through and do group outings such as that. Or I mean, even things such as like a group convention where the whole studio goes, right? It's important to have that kind of camaraderie with the people that you work with, because without that kind of cohesion between people, it's all just a whole bunch of individual artists, and it no longer has that group atmosphere. If that makes any sense at all.
It's important to
I
make
feel like
too.
Yeah, like I feel like it's so beneficial for the creative flow through the whole shop and everything. Like one person can't just carry the personality of the shop. It's a team effort. And when people aren't getting along, the clients know. Everybody knows. So like these team building exercises, camping trips and everything are so helpful for our relationships together. And I think because I'm working, it's all of our tattooists right now are all women. We're not, strict about only women can work here. It just coincidentally, we're all women. So I think that has especially like really helped bond us. Yeah, no, it's super fun. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm writing, it's like 2.5 hours outside of the city.
You're
I'm
in
writing,
Oregon, too, right?
yeah, lots of
that's a great-
forest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
I'm writing I'm carpooling with my boss. So I get to spend 2.5 hours listening and hear about stories from a 20-year veteran, which I absolutely love. I'm a sucker for hearing about, the old days of tattooing. And as a new tattooer, like I'll eat that shit up. So I'm pretty excited.
I've been doing over 20 years, and I still eat that shit up. Like I could hear people talk about who came from where and when and why. It's all there.
Yeah. The woman that started the shop began tattooing, like started her apprenticeship in 1983. And that's just for a woman to tattoo in 1983. Like people weren't as kind back then.
No, you had like what was it, like Judy Parker, Carrie Barba, and Julie Moon, and that was about it.
Was Cindy Ray still tattooing?
I mean, Shanghai K's been tattooing for a really long time as well.
Yeah.
So we can't leave her out.
Junko.
No,
I don't know.
I'm just thinking about the women that I used to see and that I would know of from magazines or conventions, like that I would,
Oh yeah, but there wasn't a lot of women. So I'm very happy to be working at a shop where the woman that owns it and started tattooing in 1983. She like helped pave a way for, like, along with all the other women that were starting to tattoo around that time and everything, for female artists to start emerging in a very male dominated industry. And I just think that's neat. Huh?
it's really cool that you're part of that now. Like you're part of her story and she's part of yours, you know, like that's pretty rad. That's why I love the history of tattooing and stuff, you know, all of these,
Yeah.
you know, taking advantage of being able to, you know, travel or spend time with different artists and things, you know, you become part of each other's story, you know, it's awesome.
Yeah, I feel super blessed to be able to like hear all these old school stories, especially from women working in a very male oriented industry. It's a very different perspective.
For sure.
So that's my fun thing this week. Cabin trip with the shop.
Awesome. Well, it's about that time, guys. I got to get rolling.
Right.
So I'm going to go through and start doing a couple of sign-offs. Medusa, I'm going to spotlight you first. Why don't you go through and give us a quick sign-off?
Hi, I'm Medusa. I work in Portland, Oregon. You can find me at medusaslays.com or Medusa Slays on Instagram. On Instagram, there's 3 S's at the end. And I post a lot about my dog.
Who, by the way, is unbelievably cute.
She is. It's ridiculous. She's staring at me right now. I'm gonna go need to give her treats for no reason at all, just because she's cute.
Dude, give her one for me.
I will. I'll do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And Seth, we'll go to you next.
Awesome. This real quick. I'm Seth Mushrush, and you can find me at Seth Mushrush on Instagram or my website, sethmushrushart.com. And here's a quick look at what I've been working on today.
Oh, damn, dude.
Gotta go. Yeah,
That's great.
Back. Thanks, man.
Those subtle gradients, man.
Thanks, homie. But thanks for having me, and look forward to joining you guys next week when we get a chance.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Ricardo, we'll go over to you if you're there.
I'm here. Sorry, man. I've been.
You're
going over
good.
some
You're
of this
good.
stuff. My name is Ricardo Circavat. I'm always happy to be here with you, Jason. Thank you so much. Seth, it's nice to see you again today, and do so likewise as well. Yeah, next time I'll try to be a little bit more put together and getting this stuff to being a little more attentive with the crowd and with you guys. But anyways, my name is Ricardo Circavat. You can reach me Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern on the Reinventing the Tattoo app, and on Instagram at Candor Tattoo, CANDOR Tattoo. Hit me up.
Right on, right on. Thank you very much. And I'll go through and spotlight myself. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. My name is Jason Leeser. I host the Sunday afternoon drawing groups, the self-improvement Sunday drawing groups here at Reinventing the Tattoo. And we're always looking for other artists to jump in, join our conversations, and participate. If you enjoyed today's show, by all means go through and please make sure to click on the like and subscribe buttons. If you're watching on YouTube, we're always trying to get more information out there and get more people involved. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, please, by all means, feel free to send me a message or hit me up on Instagram or shoot me an email in any way you want. And we'll get you on here for maybe the next show. So until then, thank you very much, everyone, for joining in today. Take care, be safe, keep those hands moving, because we got to keep those hands moving. And I will see everyone again next Sunday.